Good morning, everybody. How are you guys doing? Good? Having a good start of the day? My name is Benny. I'm here with Sasha and Dan. We're coming to you guys from New York. We're excited to present to you today and make it a bit of an interactive session about how you can get to full enrollment while maintaining excellence in your childcare centers. You might be looking at us and saying, what do we know about enrollment? Well, we know a bit. We also have leveraged the people around us. We've been surrounded by childcare leaders and individuals for quite some time who have shown, what they've done to get their centers to be excellent leaders in the industry. Daniel, my colleague here, his mom had run a childcare center with 300 children, and they have a wait list that has not stopped for years. And so we're gonna impart some of what we've learned from them and what we learn ourselves to help you guys get to full enrollment while maintaining excellence. Cool. Slide. Yeah. Awesome. But before we start, let's get the room a little warmed up. It's early in the morning. It's Friday. We've been here for a couple of days. Let's just everybody stand up where you're sitting. We're going to do a little morning stretch to get our bodies warmed. Okay, just reach up with me. Just reach to the sky. Reach real well. Take a nice breath. Reach to the right. Ooh. Reach to the left. All right, now put your arms one over the other. Now we're going to do the other one. Did you guys know that yesterday I did a jazz exercise morning session? Anyone go to that? How was that? It was good? We're going to do a little... We're gonna call this one enrollment stretching, So you can just reach one foot if you can. Just get the body awake, We're waking up. We'll put some music on, don't you worry. Anyone want to start? Just shout out where they're coming from. What states? Texas, Michigan, Memphis, Georgia, Wisconsin, Louisiana. Okay. Anyone from New York? Woo! Manhattan? Woo! Where in Manhattan are you guys? Okay. You as well? Okay, you guys work together? Awesome. We are located in Soho, so not too far away.
She's from Los Angeles, called Temple Isaiah.
And we are actually not from a preschool. We're from Playground. We are a childcare software company. You'll hear about it in a bit, but thank you everybody for that wonderful morning stretch. Happy to hear we have people from all over the country. I'm from Panama too. La Ciudad de Panama. I was born there. Very cool. Next thing we're going to do is a little activity, and you guys might be thinking, what are we doing this for? Just stick with us, okay? We're going to separate the room into 3 sections right now, okay? Sasha, you'll have this first row. This is Sasha. Dan, you'll have this second row. And I'm going to take this section, okay? These are my fearless group right here. Okay, we're going to do a little morning, kind of follow the leader activity, okay? I'm going to put music on, and the leaders in front of you are going to be doing a dance move. You might want to get back up. Sorry, guys. You might want to stand back up for this. Just get ready. Shake your body. Get loose. We're going to do a fun little morning dance. Just follow what they're doing, and after that, we're going to ask you guys to get involved as well, okay? And we're going to make it a little dance-off. So whichever group has more energy, more motivation, will be the winning group, okay? All right. Woo. Hey, nobody. No. Okay,
All right, we're switching it up.
How we do?
Let's get that energy.
Hey, look at this dance moves.
All right, we're doing right. We're going back to the basics.
Nothing like an 807 dance. Am I right? Okay, now let's pick someone from your group to lead. Okay, I will choose.
You over there in the white.
What is your name? Natalie will be our leader
You
now.
got the
Okay, we're all
energy.
gonna follow Natalie. Okay.
No? Okay. You want to lead us? Okay, you got
Natalie.
it. You got it. You got it. You're
Dance.
chosen by 2 people.
You're leading us.
You
in
gotta
the
lead
dance.
us in
Everybody
dance
follow
moves.
Natalie.
So choose a dance move. All right. Oh. All right. Oh,
All right,
you got some energy.
Natalie, you choose someone else to come lead a dance. What is your name? Jane. Natalie, Jane, what are we doing? Oh,
I promise
hey.
this purpose.
Oh.
Jumping jacks.
Then pick
Morning
someone from your
exercise.
group. Pick someone from your group.
I did. That's right. Okay, cool. All right, pick somebody else.
Yeah. All right, now you can pick someone else to come lead. And what is your name?
All right, we're going back to her.
Tori.
Also, if you guys want to come
Awesome.
up,
Tori will be our next
you
leader
guys should
of this
move over here. Move up.
final. Oh.
All right, dance moves, dance moves.
Okay.
Oh, run it.
So wake me up.
Start dancing. Do
before
some
you
dance
go,
moves.
go. Hey.
We're in preschool. We have a good time.
All right, which group is feeling the best? Which group is okay? That group's feeling pretty fun. Okay, everybody follow. Who's leading your group, Sasha? What's your name? One more time. Rain? Gwen. Everybody follow Gwen. Ready, Gwen, go. Hey! Woo! Hey! Hey! All right, thank you, everybody. Awesome. Okay, everybody, we hope you're a little bit more warmed up. Hopefully, you've met some of your peers. I met Jane, we met Gwen, we met Tori. We got people from all over the country here. Very excited to get you guys started. Now we've done our morning stretch. I want to talk about why we just did that. You might think it was a very random activity, but when it comes to getting to full enrollment and getting enrollment in general, there's two human behaviors you want to leverage. Okay, the first one is making people feel good in your center, making people feel that feeling of warmth and happiness and joy, feeling like they're comfortable and welcome to be there. People were walking in, you guys might not have noticed, but as we started dancing, more people were looking inside and saying, what's going on in there? And they started coming in. So it's a good way just to make people feel, you don't have to do a dance party at your center, you might want to, but the idea here is make people feel warm, welcome, comfortable, and happy. The second one is what we call hive mentality. It's a classic human behavior. You do what those around you do. And when everyone's doing it, you're more compelled to do it. So a lot of times in childcare, we find that families will go to where their friends are going. So the more people that go to you, the more people that will continue to come. If you have a wait list, if you have a lot of people trying to get in, those people will be talking to their friends. They'll be sending a lot. They'll be hearing about your name a lot, and they'll be coming to you more and more. So this exercise we just did, a simple dance where we were having a good time, following our friends, our peers, is a classic way for you just to think about human behavior, human psychology, and get that idea of how you can bring warmth, but also leverage human behavior to boost your enrollment. That's just a little start. So getting to full enrollment, we'll get into the meat now, depends on three things. The first is having your community find out about you before your competition. This is classic marketing. We'll talk about this. The second is eliciting parental ownership over your childcare center. So making them feel like they're owners rather than renters, making them feel invested in you. And the third is being a professional business. So making people feel like you're reliable, you're someone they can depend on. They don't want to be worried about their childcare closing on them, having to switch their kids. As we know, transitions are very difficult for young children. So you want to be a dependable, reliable business for your community. So let's get into the first. Having your community find out about you before your competition, aka marketing. So this is something I know pretty well. This is what I do day to day. When it comes to marketing and having people know about you, you have to meet your community where they are. So many of you guys work with young families. You should leverage the where they go, how they communicate. You want to be involved in those channels. So I just want to share a couple ideas with you of how you can do this. So this right here is the marketing funnel. For those who may not be familiar, there's 4 stages to it. There's awareness, where you want to attract new families. There's consideration, where you're informing them about who you are and what you do. There's conversion, where you convert them into families, into customers, into parts of your community. And there's loyalty, where they stick with you, they engage with you, they advocate for you, they want to feel like they're part of who you are, and they become an asset to your business. So let's get into some ideas just for brand awareness. And we'll ask you guys to engage with us in just a second. But I'm going to start with some ideas of how you can engage your community.
Really quick, before we go into that, just kind of segmenting this into preschool terms, the awareness and attraction, that's how people first hear about your school. So it's, are they seeing it somewhere? Are they hearing about it from somebody? Where exactly are they first becoming aware that your school even exists? On the consideration piece, sometimes that falls into a tour where they're coming and looking at your school, they're looking around at your facilities, looking at the classrooms, at the teachers, and they're trying to learn more. They've heard about you, now they're trying to learn more. And then they're trying to actually decide, where do I send my kid? And that's that conversion step. Are they choosing your school? What are the things that are getting them excited about joining, and what are the things that are keeping them away from moving forward with your school? Some of those things are going to be in your control. For example, the quality, the type of learning style, the facility, the teachers. Some things are not in your control. Maybe they live an hour and a half away. And so there are these different leads, essentially, in this marketing funnel, some that can convert and some that can't. And you don't always have control over everything. And then engage. Once they've converted and they're in your school, how can you use them in order to stay? And then also bring in their friends and family as additional leads or additional people to enter in this funnel. For example, my mom's school has a lot of families where they have one person from a very large family will join, and then cousins or family friends or other people in the community hear about it because of their great experience. And so those are the 4 stages, and we're going to go through all of them. We'll start with the awareness piece.
Awesome. So building awareness for your childcare. I'm sure you guys have done this in the past. Putting out flyers, doing any form of marketing. I'm just going to share a couple ideas with you guys right now. So there's a couple ways you can do this in your local community. You can make kitty corners at stores, any place that your community engages. These are places for parents to come, drop their kids off for a couple minutes as they run an errand. But they'll also hear about you. You can introduce yourself, say, hey, I'm here with Playground Childcare Center. You can say, we're located just down the street. This is a good way for you to get a low stakes interaction with your community. Some more ideas, kid surprises. So this means partnering with local pizza shops, restaurants, places that families go to, and dropping off kind of kid, bundles. This can be crayons or playing blocks, stuffed animals, anything for the kids to play with as they're at your restaurant. It can also be partnering with them for example, every kid's pizza that's ordered will send you a little kid's package, and you'll put your branding there, you'll put your phone number, your website, your contact information, and it's just a good way to get in front of your audience.
And this does not have to be expensive. You can even draw something yourselves or bring stuff from the classroom.
Yep. So community events, is putting together events for your community. Anything from community service for young kids, it's totally possible, to adopting dog events or food pantry events. Getting involved with your local community, showing you care about your community, and having ways for people to engage with you. Again, this is the core part of marketing, just meeting them where they're at. We also have other ideas here. You can do toddler gym classes once a month. You can join parades with your preschool, with your staff, with your children. Community fairs, farmers markets. You want to have a booth there for families to come, just meet you, see who you are, and differentiate yourself from all the potential competition you have. Holiday events as well. 4th of July barbecues, Halloween drive-through, light parades, anything of that sort. I'm curious if anybody here has any events of this kind, awareness building events that have worked very well for them. She was saying how she does a fall event where the whole community comes by. She invites both existing and prospective families. They market it through the news. It's a wonderful event. It has worked well for you to get into families. Awesome. Let's give her a little prize for this participation. Let's see what we got in this mystery bag. We got you a mystery bag. If you want to share with you decide to share it or not. Yeah, thank you for participating. What do we got over there? Okay, how many people turn out to your turkey trot? Okay, you participate in the turkey trot. Awesome. Wonderful. Everyone heard that? Turkey trot? Great idea. Word of mouth. The power of word of mouth. Awesome. So she was sharing. We got some people who wanted to share as well. Let's hear it. Okay. So she was sharing. Yep. So she was saying how she does the seasonal events, community giveaways, kind of giving back to the community. So they would provide turkeys for Thanksgiving, other drives, clothing drives for certain seasons as well.
Before we continue, Also, she mentioned social media and Google Maps, like Find My Business. Who else is using like Facebook right now in order to help advertise their business? And then who else is using Google in order to help find business as well? I would love to hear some ideas also on what you guys are doing to engage with the community on Facebook, because technology is a super powerful tool, and I'd love to go through it. Ready if you want to pick people?
Let's go, yeah. So just some more community fundraiser ideas. They raised over $100,000 in 1 year. Last several years. Okay. Anyone specific to Facebook, how they market themselves on social media? Any ideas there? So she shared how they do video testimonials as a great way to get people to learn about them. It's a great way for you to, show people who you are over video. You can share that on YouTube, social media, Facebook, Instagram. Introduce yourself, your childcare program. Just a great way, low stakes, very easy to do with your phone. Any other social media ideas? As parents continue to get younger and younger, you want to make sure you're meeting them on the channels they use. TikTok, Instagram, social media in general is just becoming more and more prevalent with young parents. So promoting yourself through that is just, there's no reason not to do it. We'll just take a couple more. Let's get one more right here. Okay, so referral programs. Wonderful. And that's, they'll probably refer you if they want anyways, and it's just another reason for them to share about you. Keep going.
Just quickly to summarize everything though, I want to say there's like a lot of different avenues that will work for some centers or providers and some that won't work for others. And so one of the reasons that we love making this interactive is you can hear what other members of the community are doing in order to increase awareness of their programs. We hear things from community resources like childcare resource and referrals. We hear things like technology, where it's you have Facebook or you have TikTok in order to leverage that. And you can go and look at other people's profiles and see how they're doing that to see if that might work for you or find your own niche. We have ways that people are leveraging word of mouth. So we had like gift cards, we have people posting photos from providers where you could then, from the families, those families might go and reshare that and advertise for you. And that's a way to take advantage of some of that free advertising as well. But yeah, a lot of this comes down to just trying to get ideas from what other people are doing for awareness. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. Something that's working for somebody else might also work for you. It might not. But the whole thing here is that there's a lot of different ideas. You can look and try the ones that you enjoy doing. Don't do the ones that necessarily feel like a chore. And figure out how you can use that to create more awareness. Sometimes even doing the things you're doing, like community events. Like maybe you're already running that turkey trot, and you can then go and also advertise your business as part of that event that you're already taking in.
And it doesn't have to be you only. If you have staff that you work with, or nieces, nephews, or younger students that are coming in, you can ask them, hey, can you make a reel for this event we're doing? You might not know how to make a TikTok, but you can use the people around you to help you out. Those are very valuable assets. And once you make a TikTok, you can share it a million times anywhere you want. So definitely do leverage video content, social media content. Okay, so partnering with local businesses. So partnering with local businesses, again, we'll talk about that a bit more, but very valuable to, you're engaging with families, you're engaging with businesses, you're becoming a deeper part of your community. So at Playground, we have also this resource we'll share with you guys after, just some more ideas on how to build your community and kind of create awareness of who you are. A lot of things we mentioned right now are involved in that. Just, if you want, after the session's over, come to us, we'll scan your badge. We will send you a recording of the session with this resource included as well. So you can just, keep this information in your mind. So, like we said, you want to go to where your market lives. You want to meet your families where they're at. Someone mentioned before the idea of the park meetup. That's super important. Young parents always go to parks. They go to the swing sets with their kids. They're meeting the families next to them, around them. If there is a family next to them that is in your childcare program and they're raving about you, it's going to be the best word of mouth, the best referral you can probably get. Some other ideas just to engage with parents. This is an event that Daniel's mom has put on in the past called Yellers Anonymous for parents who might want to change their parenting behavior with their kids. It's a way for them to meet up, with the trained professional and talk about how they can improve their parental behaviors.
One thing on this one. This has been one of the biggest sources of leads for my mom as well over the years. So leverage the fact that you are an expert at early education, early learning. You are a member of the community that provides childcare, but you also are the one who are providing the resources for parents when they are training or raising their kids as well. So they're coming to you not just for childcare, but they're also coming to you for education for their children. They're coming to you for your expertise. And so you can leverage that even for families that aren't necessarily in the community and start building some of these groups for young families who are looking to learn more about the proper methods or ways to teach their children. If you don't do infant care, for example, the first 2 years, that whole time they're on their own essentially caring for their children. So if you start providing resources for them when they're ready to join a school, and they've already heard about you and used your resources for the last 2 years, they're likely going to be coming looking for you for childcare as well. So this is what my mom did for, I think, like a decade now, is families who were new parents, they didn't really know how to interact with children. A lot of young families have never really worked with children before. They're not surrounded by children, so this is their first experience with it, and they're not always sure how to engage. And so she uses her expertise in order to educate the community and use that to create many leads for her school.
It's kind of what we call becoming a thought leader in your space. You want to be someone who people go to when they have questions about what should I do here or how do I do this. And we have just some more ideas right now. Other classes, other parent events you can do, postpartum events, classes. So parents who just gave birth for the first time or any postpartum event, get people.
I would double down on that because she said the staff love it too. I'm sure many of you are also dealing with staff retention issues, and a lot of times that comes down to many factors. One of them is money, but they get, that's an extra 20%. That's an extra day of work that they get in order to take on this if they need it. So the staff are very happy with what she does with. So not only is she marketing her own business, not only is she making extra revenue, but her staff are actually.
Yep. Parents are definitely willing to pay for your extra services. You're a business. Of course, you love to give back to your community, but you also want to pay your staff, keep yourself happy, and feed your own family. Charge what you deserve to charge for your events. Don't undersell yourself, because I'm sure many of you guys have seen parents and families often do take advantage in certain situations. So you have to know your worth and treat yourself as a professional business. Yep. The parent day night out, you could totally charge. Other events you might do for free, for example, lecture or a talk with new parents. You can just do that as a way to engage your community. It depends.
Or like one-time complimentary and then charge afterwards. There's ways to structure it where you can make sure you're not losing money on the events. Beautiful. Mommy and me, grandma and me, all of those ways are ways to like build trust in your business. You can also charge for those. And so it's just utilizing your space that you already have, offering your staff.
Yeah. If you have materials you want to share with your community, post them on Pinterest, share them with people. Anything for staff to for parents, people will be very appreciative and will be more likely. Yep, definitely. So some ideas we were shared were engaging with the community on monthly, grandparent and me events, or going to old age homes and doing coloring events, or even a Thanksgiving harvest memories event. So just some more ideas. Leverage your peers. Conferences like these are great ways to just talk to people and see what works well for them. There's a million ideas out there, like you just heard. So, and like we were mentioning before, you want to make sure nowadays you have social media and web presence. Again, can we just get a quick raise of hands? Who here has a website for their childcare program? Okay, so sounds like most of the classroom. Who here has social media accounts for their childcare? Okay, for those of you who don't, you can see those around you. Most of them do. By you not being there, it just makes you harder to find. Testimonial videos and reviews. Yep, and that's because it's coming from someone like them. It's because it's coming from someone who has a child enrolled in your program, and they'll see this is what they're experiencing. That's what I can expect to experience as well. So amplify the voices of the people that are around you who are happy and engaged. It's the best, honestly, the best kind of marketing you can do.
One way just to follow up and show, like when you guys look for restaurants or events near you, do you ever look at the reviews underneath? Right, so if you don't have those reviews, people are not going to trust you. And so again, a lot of this is coming down to being professional and being trustworthy. Having reviews from your happy families is important because then they'll assume that you don't have any. And I'm sure you guys do have many happy families, so just asking families for a review at the end of the day, or like in the middle of the school year, or send out through whatever app or website you're using to communicate with families. Just be like, hey, it would mean a lot if you guys just leave a review here. It's a really quick and easy way to do it, or during pickup or drop off, having just a camera one day and just recording like, hey, we're trying to build some social media presence. Would you be okay doing a 15-second testimonial video? Benny was doing it at the conference in the expo hall. If you walked by our booth, you might have seen him pulling customers aside and just taking quick videos to share online.
I can show you guys how it's done. You just go up and you'll be like, hey, Dan, are you enjoying my childcare program?
Yeah, absolutely.
Would you be willing to do a testimonial video for our social media accounts?
Sure. I love the community at Playground Center. My little Jimmy over here has made a ton of new friends, and the community is fantastic.
All right, so I'm gonna take that video, maybe add some music in the background, maybe add some text with their name, and that's it. Literally, I just did it in less than a minute. We got a testimonial video. Maybe you want someone a bit more descriptive of their child's experience than my colleague Dan, but it was beautiful nonetheless. Very simple.
Other thing to note for like the web presence as well, if you Google just while you're home, because Google is based on your location, just Google childcare near me. That is a search term that a lot of people are looking up. If you start seeing like aggregation websites, it might make sense to start listing your program there as well, in order to make sure that you're showing up when families are searching for childcare near me. Put it on Google, also put it on Google Maps, and make sure that you're being listed when people are looking. Those are two very easy, free ways to show up and make sure that you are at least showing up when families are looking for care.
And these are just examples of websites that Sasha right here has made for other childcare providers. They're relatively straightforward websites. If you're interested, you want to see how it's made, just talk to Sasha. It's pretty simple to set up. Just tell people about who you are, where you're located, the basic facts about you, and having a presence is, you need it nowadays.
And most importantly, they're designed to convert.
Yep, they have clear call to actions. Enroll today, book a tour, get in touch. You want people to have an easy way to, if they want to learn more, take that next step from awareness to consideration. So I want to do a quick exercise with you guys, a mental exercise. I'm going to ask everybody, just look at that picture. It might be a little hard to see because of the light. But I want you now to close your eyes. Take a little second from the crazy morning dance we had. Just close your eyes and imagine you're driving up to the most perfect, incredible, wonderful childcare center in your town. And imagine as you drive up to this center, what do you see? What do you hear? Who do you see greeting the kids? What does it feel like to you? And as you open your door and walk in towards the entrance, what are you hearing around you? What are you seeing? What are you smelling? What's that whole experience feel like? And as you open the door to walk in and you're greeted by the staff, what are you hearing? What are they saying to you? What are those first words that are coming to your ears? Good morning, welcome in. What are you seeing around you? Is there commotion? Is it clean? Does it feel put together, or does it feel kind of unorganized? And as you drop your kid off and say goodbye, what does that feel like? Is your kid crying that they don't want to leave from you? I mean, that might be the case. Or are they eager to engage with their surroundings, with other kids around them? Are you feeling good about your decision to leave them there? You want this exercise, you can now open your eyes. This is what it should be like for you when you have parents come to your program. You want them to feel like they're dropping their kids off at the most wonderful, perfect, beautiful childcare center in your town. You want them to feel comfortable and happy and at peace with their decision to send their kids there. So what this comes down to is being detail-oriented with the way you run your business. Making sure that when people arrive, what that experience looks like is put together. When they're dropping their kids off, they're feeling comfortable and at peace. They're hearing, they're not hearing people crying or yelling or stuff being thrown around. You want them to feel like they're dropping their kids off in an environment that you would be comfortable dropping your kids off in as well. It's likely the biggest and hardest thing parents have to do at this stage is separate themselves from their children, especially as new parents. So you want to make that process as simple and comfortable, make them feel like part of a family as well.
Some of the small details also, just to kind of highlight. If you were to walk into a restaurant and people were wearing, I don't know, just very disheveled clothing, their hair looked like a complete mess, everything, you might think that that restaurant might not be like a trustworthy place to eat food. So like making sure that your staff also look and feel professional, making sure that you have that professional air, that this is a safe place for my child. You are a business. You are absolutely a business, and making sure that you look, feel, and act like a business is very important. Making sure that you are professional. I know that restaurant and childcare is very different, but you guys, there's still an aspect of being served, service that you're providing, and making sure that that service is seen as being high quality. It also helps with you being able to charge more, with you being able to run weekend programs because you're trustworthy, and parents feel very comfortable leaving their kids there. Parents might be willing to purchase additional services, all these other things from you, in additional to when those tours are occurring. If they look around and they see that everything looks professional, that stuff is organized, that your entrance is very welcoming, that this seems like a place that their child will enjoy. When you're doing that conversion process, when they're choosing between you or some of the other programs in the area, making sure that they feel as though this is the best place for their child, that this is going to be somewhere that their child's going to be happy and that they're going to be happy. My mom also loves to talk about, so sorry to quote her again, she's been in childcare for like 25 years now, but you know, the child's only spending 10% of their day there, 10% of their lives there. Realistically, it's 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. That's the whole entire nights they're not there, mornings they're not there, in the weekends they're not there, there's holidays. So making sure that they understand there's a community also, having like photos of community events, photos and videos, or seeing other families being greeted, making sure that they feel comfortable and knowing that this is, they're entering a community, not that they're just leaving their child there for childcare. You're offering much more than that, and you guys should present as that in order to show off how much value you're adding. And that also goes back to the other point about those resources and making sure that you are seen as a thought leader, is making sure that you have like some of those posters up, some of those kind of informational materials. I know not everybody looks at the boards and reads them, but sometimes some of that pieces will show that you actually know what you're doing, and you should, and I believe that you do, but you also need to convince the parents that you are the expert and you're the ones that know what they're doing.
And a good way to do this as well is if you're not sure what the experience is like walking into your center. So the question was, if you are a well-known childcare program, 18 years of experience, and you're full in your current location, you want to open up a second location in a new area with a lot of competition, how do you differentiate yourself? Well, one differentiating factor here was a Montessori style school. So you want to highlight your differences. And like we mentioned all those things before, create video references of your existing program. And then you can, at the end of your video, say, hey, we're opening up a new location here. Want to learn more? So they can see the quality of care you provide at one spot and the second will probably be quite similar. All you're changing is location. You can leverage the first location as a marketing source for your second one. 100%. I mean, assuming there's overlap in the way you're running the programs, and families can expect similar experiences from the first and the second. If it's a mirror experience, then treat it like the same business. I mean, at the end of the day, it's one company with two childcare programs.
Just to double down on that as well, you are the expert. If you're pushing a Montessori curriculum and you think that's best, you should be educating the families in that new community why they should value Montessori, why they should consider it over the existing programs. You have your reasons. Obviously, you've been successful. And so making sure that parents are aware.
Well, so Temple Isaiah Preschool, this is Daniel's mom's preschool in Los Angeles. They had 330 kids at one point, and their enrollment dropped to 280. Sorry, that arrow is upside down. But their enrollment dropped by... They added a STEM or STEAM program, as they call it. This is science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. This was a really good way for them to differentiate themselves from the schools around them. They offered all kinds of activity and new curriculum for young children to get involved in these areas of learning. And it helped them boost their enrollment back up to 330, and now they have a wait list that has not gone down for years. It's just a way for you to differentiate yourself from those around you. You want to highlight these differences. So when you're running a STEAM program, you want to showcase this on social media. You want to send this to your families and say, hey, now we're offering simple robotics classes, or they have a Beep-Bops, which are these little toys that you can have your kids play around with that just follow paths. Building blocks, anything of that sort.
One other thing, just want to highlight earlier conversation about the industry specific, where you go into the industries. Many of my mom's clientele are doctors and engineers, or scientists as well. And so she kind of leveraged the fact that they want their kids to also learn about STEM and STEAM. And so she built this program in order to support her existing community, but then also advertise to their friends, where it's like, hey, why should I go to Temple Isaiah? It's because they're advocating for...
Anyone have any ideas for differentiators of, programs? Anybody here nature-based? Okay, so they do a nurture nature-based program where they have a garden and they showcase that with their families. Here's a little...
We're doing more practice.
So she said that she clearly just states the differentiators. Don't make parents come to their own conclusions. Tell them how you're different. Post, hey, here's 5 ways we're different from those around us. And also just showcasing professional development. A very easy way to do this is go by to the NACI sign in the main conference center, take a photo with yourself or with your staff, and post it on social and say, hey, we had a great time in Nashville at the NACI. Next section we got is eliciting parental ownership over your program. What this means is making parents feel like owners rather than renters in you. Instead of just saying, hey, I just dropped my kids off and I pick them up. So like I mentioned before, there's a little example of the swing set. Most parents take their kids to the park, they'll push their kids on the swing, and they'll look at the kid next to their kid and say, they'll ask the parent and say, how old's your child? And the parent will say, he's 3 months or he's 5 months or a year. And the parent, that I'm going to compare my child to the child next to mine. And I'm doing that because I want to see, is my child developing correctly? Are they on time, per se? And then I'm going to ask probably, oh, so are they in preschool yet? Or are they, what are they up to? And then they'll say, oh yeah, they're at the playground preschool. And they'll ask, what's that? Where is that? Do you like it? And they'll say, oh yeah, I actually love it. We have these mommy and me activities. We have a nurture to nature program. We have a memories program during Thanksgiving. They're raving about you. And this is at the park. You're not even there. You're not hearing about it. You're not doing any work for this. This is marketing that parents will do because they love you. They feel like they're a part of your community. So you just want to make sure that when parents feel like owners and a part of your community, they're going to be at the park talking to the parents around them at a community event, and they'll just share, my child's at playground preschool and they love it, and here's why you should send your child there too, and they're going to be so happy. So ways to do this, just some ideas: a PAC, a parent advisory committee. This is you can have a committee of 3 to 5 parents that join into your decision-making process, from where your budgeting goes, where you're buying materials, what kind of events you're hosting, other ways to engage your community. They will help you planning of this, and that will make them feel more compelled to market this to their community and their friends and bring people with them. But it also makes them feel like they have say in where their tuition goes and how you run your childcare program. Does anyone here leverage a PAC at the moment? Anything of the sort? Okay, 1, we got 2. Okay, so it's an interesting way for parents to feel like they have, ownership and a say in how you run your childcare program. Where your budgeting goes is very important to them. And like I mentioned, all of this helps you just build word of mouth. It's your best asset. Those testimonials will come. And so another idea you can do to get parents to feel like they're owners and just get them more involved is do park meetups. This can be monthly, this can be quarterly, and this is great, like we mentioned, for existing families and prospective families as well. You'll just say, hey, everybody, let's meet at the Nashville Park on the first Monday. We're going to have some activities planned. We'll have some snacks. This can be you with some staff members, or you alone, or just staff. And you'll have parents come by, get together, reconnect with friends who they may not have seen as they've aged out of your program. Or the existing parents will just connect with each other, build friendships, because parents want to make friendships with other new parents in the same spot as them. And this is a great way for parents who are at the park not with you, across the park, and they'll say, whoa, what's that meetup over there of 20 parents with their kids doing fun activities? And they'll come by, they'll ask questions, they'll say, what's going on over here? What is this? You can say, oh yeah, we're Playground Preschool. We host these monthly park meetups for our community. Very simple to do. Shouldn't cost you more than a couple $20 to buy.
One idea there also is you could schedule it for after parent-teacher conferences. So maybe they've already gotten those updates for their children, and that way they might not have as many questions anymore. Hopefully they've gotten those all out during those conversations. No, still more questions?
There's always questions.
Yep. Fair enough.
And you can make that clear. You can also say, hey, this is an event for us to connect. We'll talk about the kids when we have our parent-teacher conferences. Right now, spend time with the parents around you, and talk to me. But I'm not going to share anything specific about your child because there's other parents, and I can't do that. Start of the year events. That's a great way to get the community together at the beginning. And like I said, parents at this stage will want to meet other parents in the same spot as them. So preschool is a social event for parents. Yeah. So not high cost, a pool party at the end of the summer. Great ways for families to connect. And you're not explicitly marketing your program necessarily. You're just there hosting it. And they're going to subconsciously feel that connection and be like, oh, when I'm considering a preschool, 100%. So involving your families in field trips. You might have 50 kids going, but you have 130, the family members will come with you. And some cool ideas here. Ice cream socials, pool parties. Yeah, so partnering with local businesses, driving business to them, but also getting a portion. Awesome. So the third part of this is being a professional.
Yeah, and like we mentioned earlier, it is so imperative that you establish yourself as an expert, as a credible person, as someone that's trustworthy, someone that parents can feel comfortable, or families can feel comfortable leaving their kids, whether it's during the normal hours of the week, or again, if you add those after-hour specials on the weekends or at night, you want families to be excited. You want the kids to be excited about leaving their kids in your care. And there's a number of ways that you can do this. If you want to move forward. First of all, consider switching and operating on a rolling basis. So in season, pretty much 12 months out of the year. Of course, you can take holidays and communicate that to families, but it's important for your families to be able to depend on you. So dependable care year round. It's also really huge for your staff, your teachers, to know that they are employed. They're going to have a steady income year round. Of course, you can always build in summer breaks and vacation and paid time off. But as far as your like official policy should go, it's really, really helpful to have that just ongoing rolling basis for enrollment and for care. Yep. Now this is where we get into the weeds a little bit. As we take a look more at your marketing side of things, how are your families hearing about you? You want to ask every single person that comes to your door, whether they're just inquiring, whether they're actually enrolling, whatever it is, you want to know, how did you hear about me? Whether it was another, family word of mouth, whether it was a Facebook post, whether they were walking down and they saw a huge event at a Chuck E. Cheese. You want to just know what is working. You want to be able to attribute your efforts to enrollments. This lets you double down on the campaigns that actually work for you, and you can get rid of the stuff that isn't working for you. So if you're spending 10 hours a week on Facebook posts or for whatever reason, but all of your all of your enrollments or your leads are coming from the Chuck E. Cheese events or field trips or park meetups, then you should go all in on these in-person meetups and maybe decide to invest in the Facebook stuff specifically at a later point in time. So you want to focus on what works. Of course, it's important to go with your gut and have this intuition. Obviously, you're in your community. You've likely been in the community for a long time. You know your families. But having actual hard numbers, quantitative numbers to go along with that qualitative side of things to understand this is actually, you can tie revenue to marketing efforts.
And you can just add this as a question on your applications of how'd you find us? Simple as that. And you should have that data with you at all times. So you want to pull a report. How did my 100 families that I have right now find us? And you can see 80 came from Chuck E. Cheese events, 20 came from a park meetup. Those are what's working. Yep.
Absolutely.
So she was sharing that they have an Excel sheet for their program. They have all the student information, also for the wait list, and they just have the channel of which the parent found them. So you just want to make sure you're keeping the data, storing it somewhere, so you're making decisions, informed decisions in the future about what to do.
The other thing that's really cool about this is if you spend an entire month doing these enrollment efforts, especially if you're enrolling during spring. Let's say there's a heavy flow of enrollments during spring. In the following months after that, you can see, okay, 45% of my enrollments came from family referrals and 15% came from this or that. You can then take a look at, let's say, the word of mouth and say, okay, for the word of mouth, what can I do on my end to help bolster this? And then we go back to the earlier strategies that we talked about, hey, maybe we need to introduce one additional event a month and see how that impacts your number of leads in that specific category for the next enrollment season. And so it gives you the opportunity to actually put hard numbers into your efforts and again, show an exact return on your investment. Sweet. Another really cool thing that you could do is professionalizing your interactions. So if you are, how many of you actually have a dog or a cat? Show of hands. Okay, a lot of folks here. If you don't, you can use your imagination. You can follow along this example. It won't be too hard. But if you're taking your dog or cat to the groomers and you find this business, they have a really incoherent website, doesn't look too great, doesn't really have any explanation about what they do. You call someone, it's like someone's personal phone number, or they're texting you and they're using, there's typos and grammar mistakes, and every single time it's an inconsistent experience. You're going to have second thoughts. You're not going to be as excited, especially if you're dropping your pet off for the first time at this groomer. You're not going to be that excited about this experience. And so the same can be said for the enrollment experience, or actually that entire experience for new families, prospective families, as they consider your and enroll at your location, your program. The feedback there was calling families ahead of their tour, asking them some questions about their needs, what they're looking for, and using that information to personalize that tour, which is fantastic. And I think that you can still integrate personalized and tailored tours while keeping the same general structure of the tour. And again, you don't have to be a robot with each tour. That's not what I'm meaning here. I mean that you should have a general structure of, hey, this is generally where we're going to start. This is how we're going to proceed through the site. Absolutely. And for the folks that couldn't hear, she was talking about how it's important to have structure in place, because sometimes, a family, if you don't have something in place, you can just get really deep into a rabbit hole, and then at the end of the tour, you realize, hey, there's still half of the tour that we didn't finish and it's incomplete, and then the family doesn't have all the information at their fingertips to make a good, educated decision about where they're going to send their child. So I think it's a balance of having a general structure while leaving room within it to personalize and tailor. Cool. So a couple pieces. I know that in the very beginning we talked about our background as it relates to childcare. So Playground is a childcare management software. As the way that we started it actually was building this system for Dan's mom, who again runs that large center in LA. This was almost 5 years ago at this point, and so our entire professional career is built around automating as much of directors' lives, like the busy work, as possible, and really just eliminating that low-level admin work, so you could focus on why you got into the business in the first place, which is offering and providing quality care. And so our system helps with everything from waitlist management, enrollment, also some of the day-to-day stuff like attendance, billing, engagement with the families. So right now we're looking, this is like our waitlist management screen. So we automate a lot of that stuff that we talked about. We help you track that information that we looked at before. And so there's Playground is one good tool. There's also a lot of other tools. I don't want to just like sit here and say buy Playground, buy Playground. There's a lot of other options for you as well. If you guys are curious, we have a booth and we can show you specifically how it could work for your program. So one key place that we help with, again, is that waitlist management piece. So whether you are managing an overflowing waitlist, or you have a batch of new spots opening up and you want to figure out, hey, I want to process these families as quickly as possible. If you want to go forward a slide, or actually one more, we'll go back. We help you process all that information quickly online. We have digital forms for you, so all of your state licensing forms can be on here, your tuition contract, your parent handbook, all of it is digitized. What's really nice also is if you're thinking about your enrollment process, you want to maintain that level of excitement that families were feeling when they toured your site, when they decided, hey, this is where we want to enroll our child. Once they say, yes, we want to move forward and start the registration process, you're handing them like a huge pile of paperwork, and you can instantly see like all the blood rush from their face, because they're like, oh gosh, I'm going to sit here for the next 45 minutes just filling out and writing a novel. And so in something like Playground, you can just, as a parent, put your name in once and it autofills across the whole packet. Same goes for address, birthday, email, like all of that repetitive information, we just autofill for the families. So it's significant. And yeah, so easy ways to standardize your business, elevate and polish that experience for your families, ultimately resulting in higher conversion rates when it comes to enrollment and spending less time on managing the busy work part of it.
And I'll also mention, like we shared, having that data available for you at any time is super important. Keeping it online, I mean, Excel is one way to do it, but as you grow and have more, if you're tying the data together of which families am I communicating with, where do they come from, which ones are the most successful here, which families are more likely to attend my evening events or my parent nights, keeping it all together, all your data in one spot is only going to help you out. So Playground and tools like Playground can help you just keep it all organized and keep your business professional from an administrative perspective in the back end, but also the way you present yourself with your families. Cool.
Good question. The question was, do we have payroll on there? So yes, you can do staff timesheets on Playground. We actually have an integration coming out with a payroll provider in early 2024, where you can actually cut checks and pass that along. So yes.
And if you guys want to talk more to us later, come by our booth in the exhibitor hall. We're 1811 1811. We're going to be there.
We can stick around here for the next few minutes. I think sounds like we're going to, we have about 5 minutes left. So we'll give you back your time. If you have any questions, let us know. And then we'll be scanning your badges at the end if you want us to follow up with these slides, that resource that we shared, and then also a recording of this talk for your reference.
You can also scan the QR code on the screen, and that'll take you to that website just to register your information, and we'll send it to you. But again, come talk to us. We're here for the next couple of days.
And thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it. Thank you.